Hello, I'm cooking beef tips and rice tonight for Cooking with the Blues, Jack Chaplin, and Patreon / Cooking with the Blues. What I've got is some sirloin here that I'm going to make the beef tips out of. And what I did is I trimmed all the fat off of it, and I'm rendering the fat here. I'm using this for my for the fat in the dish. We call them gratins here. They're delicious, but it adds a lot of added fat to the dish, and this way you can control it better if you render the fat here and then add it back in. What I'm also serving is I'm doing some butter beans with smoked Polish kielbasa sausage, and then we've also got these are collard greens with smoked turkey wings and bacon in them, and we've made our stock for the rice. It's turkey wing stock, smoked turkey wing stock, and that'll be for the rice. And so what I'm going to do now is just cut this up in the. I'm wearing a glove because I cut myself earlier. I like them pretty small. They cook a whole lot quicker like that. This fat that's rendering over here, all the silver skin has been taken out of it. This is just the hard fat, and so what I'll do is this sirloin, I actually bought it about a week ago, and what I'm doing with it is I had it in the ice box, and I'm wet aging it. So I'm just leaving it in there and letting it lose some of its color, lose some of its. You can see right here, it has kind of a dry looking color to it, maybe compared to that. I don't know how good the lighting is, but I do that so it will lose moisture content and it will deepen the beef flavor. Like I said, this is sirloin. I typically like to use chuck, but this was on sale, so that's good enough. So what I'll do is I'll cut this up, get it ready, then I'll season it. I'll show you how the seasoning I use for it, and then I'm going to let that continue to render, and then I'll pour some of it off because we don't need all that fat in our dish. I'll season this, flour it, and then we will be back in. It'll probably take another 10 or 12 minutes for that to render, and we'll be right back. And I think our gratins are rendered. They look burned, but that's not burned. A little water, sorry about that. That's a little water in there, but what I'll do is I'll pull them out now. That's just enzymatic browning. It's not burned. That's I think they call it polyphenol oxidase. The Maillard reaction. Anyway, you can see how much fat came out of there. Hold up. You can see how much fat came out of there. That might be a heavy tablespoon. I'll take a little bit of it out. It doesn't need very much because we're going to add. So I just dab it out like that. It doesn't take much. And so then with the beef tips here, I'll go ahead. I'll hit them with kosher salt first. About that. But you can always add. We're going to add some in a little bit anyway. Plus the beef stock over here that I made has some salt in it. This is just kind of a Creole blackening seasoning. It's real similar to Jack's blackening seasoning, except it has. In fact, this has red pepper in it, as well as onion powder. So it'll give it a little color, flavor, and then I also make my own black pepper. This is smoked in pecan. I smoke just about everything in pecan. So now that's hot. I'll put this in the flour. Then we'll come over here and we'll start browning them off. Shake as much flour, I guess, as you can. It doesn't matter. A little bit it's going to go in there and that'll help thicken it. I don't like using a lot of flour, like roux and things that I like to do things through reduction. You can't always do that. In this case, it'll be silkier, smoother if you do add flour, not a roux, but just flour of meat. JD, do you know what this is that we pulled out of the skillet right here? You remember the name for them? Yeah, you do. You love them. You don't remember? Remember gratin? You like them?
Yes.
Okay, don't touch them right now because they're real hot. Okay.
Do you cook them for me?
Oh, yeah. And, you know, there's a lot of people talk about overcrowding the pan. In this case, it's not going to matter a lot because these are going to braise and stew down. It's not like you're frying a pork chop where you're really looking for that color. You're going to get the color anyway because I'm going to add some tomato paste and wine to this. So, I'm going to have to actually add some fat to this, but at least it's not going to be rendered beef fat, tallow. It'll be a combination of olive oil, pure olive oil, not extra virgin, it burns too fast, and salad oil. And so that was probably another tablespoon. And so what I'll do while we're waiting for that to come up is I will cut an onion. And you always want to save all your root ends, stem end, and skins. And I keep them in a gallon bag in the freezer. When you want to make stock like the turkey stock I made there, the beef stock I made over there, it's just free. And the idea here, you want to cook this or cut this. Hold your knife up. This is the part of your knife that cuts, and then you gauge how big you want your dice. There's one cut. Don't cut all the way through it. 2, 3. That's about as much as I want. So now cut into your onion 3 times. Then come back around this way. That's the onion. I'll put these in the freezer in just a second. But while I'm in the freezer, when I find bell peppers on sale, you know, you can find them 2-3 times a year. I buy them, bring them home, and I cut them up like this. They freeze. I mean, it's not something you would want to put on a salad, but they freeze really well. And you can see they got a sharp knife and they cut fine. And I bought 5 pounds of red, yellow, orange, and green bell peppers for $1.99. At Walmart here in the town I live in, they're $1.99 a piece. And there was probably at least 10 of them in there. And so what I'll do with this is then I use roasted garlic. It's got an easier flavor, and instead of having to chop it up and it'd be a mess and get everywhere, you roast it like this, you put it in the oven for the whole head for 375 degrees, and then when you want to chop it, you just like that. That's it. It's easy. Anybody can do that. So this will continue to brown, and you can see we're getting a lot of color on the bottom. That's the good stuff. And when this browns up well, then we'll come back, we'll hit it with some wine, some tomato paste, stock, garlic, peppers, onions, and we'll go back. Add some mushrooms in there. So I'll put them in there.
Add some what?
Just to stretch it out a little bit.
Mushrooms.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to chop them with a glove on, but. So what's going to happen, the moisture in the bell peppers and onions and the mushrooms, that will deglaze the pan a little bit. It'll pull the fond off. I'm going to hold up on the garlic because I don't want it to burn. But while I'm here, the butter beans are coming up real nice. And then what I have here is a little of the turkey trim that I use to make the stock out of. And that's going to go here when I do the rice, and it's going to be made with turkey stock as well as some turkey fat that I rendered, trimmed off the top. And you always want to have some water going on the back, just regular water, warm, waiting on you, because this sauce will probably be too thick once it reduces. So I'm going to cook this for a second and just get a little heat into the vegetables. I'm not trying to cook them right now. This is all going to braise together on stovetop. I'm not cooking it in the oven. And I actually want the vegetables to have a little body to them, so I don't want to cook them away. I'm not going to put that much heat into them. So what I'll do now is I will add the garlic. I will add some tomato paste. It's going to put body in it, and it's going to be a natural thickener, as well as add quite a bit of acidity to it, which is what you'll need, because this is going to be pretty rich with that gravy. It's going to make its own gravy. So this will be that, and this will be glazed.
And that's what?
Just dry red wine. Just anything that's dry. You can't use sweet here. All right, I think we're ready. I just checked the meat. It's tender. But as predicted, it did stick a little bit, which is all that does is just add flavor to it. So it's right. Look at that. That's right where you want it. They call it nappe when it does that. Anyway, I'm glad we had some hot water left over. We'll put about that much in it. That'll make the gravy better. Go around that side. Make one more. I think it does it. So it's time to serve it up. Now, while we were gone, once the water came up to boil with the turkey and the bay leaf in it, I went ahead and go ahead and get rid of the bay leaf. I went ahead and added the rice. And I don't know, some people say 12 minutes or something. I just cook it till it looks right. And it's be cut and burned. This is Creole rice, and what that means, it's a little bit more loose. It's got a little bit darker color to it. And put some beef tips on that. Some gravy. More gravy. And I'll add some butter beans with smoked kielbasa. This kielbasa is easy to make. It's for every pound of pork that you put in it, you want to put 5 grams of salt, 4 grams of black pepper, 9 grams of garlic, and about 8 grams of margarine. That's what you want in Polish sausage. That's what gives it its taste is the margarine. So, and then you just smoke it. All this is smoked in pecan. Everything I make is smoked in pecan. So there's that. And then these are collard greens with bacon and smoked turkey wings. That's about as southern and soul food as it gets right there. And also, if you want a trick, I have this. It's an induction surface, and a lot of my pans don't work on induction. So what I do is I use this cast iron, because it does, and I just set my pans right on top of it, and it saves you from having to go out and buy a whole new set of pans for your kitchen. It works just as good. I'll take some green onions out of the garden, and the only thing this thing needs now this and this. Jack, I really appreciate it. Everybody check out Cooking with the Blues, Jack Chaplin, Daddy Jack Chaplin. He's recently been able to open his restaurant back up in New London, Connecticut. Glad for that. Glad that he's back in operation. And also check out Patreon / Cooking with the Blues. It's a subscription channel, and he has a lot of good tips, tricks, great videos, and a lot of good blues music and other music. But y'all check it out. Thanks a lot.